Hi, my name is Richard Wong, and I graduated from the Masters of Educational Technology program in the fall of 2022. By day, I'm an accounting and tax instructor at the University of British Columbia and a department chair of accounting at Douglas College. By night, I run Definitive Wealth, an advisory firm focused on providing tax and business advice to Canadian individuals and owner-managed businesses. I started the MET program during the COVID-19 pandemic. I believe in continually learning and growing and was looking to supplement my undergraduate studies in business with a different type of program and knowledge base. The COVID-19 pandemic really helped me realize the importance and power of educational technology. As educators shifted to emergency online teaching at the start of the pandemic, there was a real need for educators with strong knowledge in learning theories, online course design, and educational technology. My goal in taking the MET program was to hopefully become one of those experts that my peers could lean on and rely upon. I guess for me, I had always considered pursuing my master's, but never thought I could find a program that didn't involve quitting my job. It was therefore important to me to find a program that would be flexible, that could scale up or scale down depending on my work commitments, and that would connect me with other educators. The MET program was all of this for me. I was able to fit the courses nicely around my full-time work. I was able to meet educators from the K-12 level all the way up to the post-secondary level. And best of all, I got a credential from UBC, which I consider to be a world-class university. As you can already tell, I'm not your traditional educator. I entered teaching after a career in accounting and tax. In fact, I entered teaching initially as a passion project and a bit of a side hustle. I remembered how much fun I used to have as a teaching assistant in my undergraduate studies and reflected on how much I enjoyed training junior staff at work. So in 2019, I figured I'd give post-secondary teaching a shot. It didn't take long before I fell in love with teaching. Now, as you can imagine, tax and accounting aren't always the most exciting topics for students, but I love convincing them that it is. I love the impact I make on students and their career choices, the way they laugh or light up when I tell an interesting story, or the way they relate to my teaching styles and methods. A few years into it, I could definitely start to see what worked with students and what didn't. But I really had nothing but informal feedback, hearsay, and comments from students to justify my use of educational technology and my learning design decisions. The MET program helped me back my practices up with sound pedagogy and learning theories. I found ways to explain why my teaching style worked and how I could further improve. Many people in the MET program come from a background of education and are further supplementing it with a master's degree. Coming from an accounting and tax background, I didn't have this, so the MET degree was essential for me to get up to speed with learning theories and sound education practices. In the MET program, I had the opportunity to work on projects that I could bring back to my own context and role. For example, in a course on the selection, design, and application of learning technologies, I built an online module to teach accounting fundamentals to a non-accountant. This module thought through several issues such as universal design for learning, or UDL, effective assessment strategies, and multimodality, the use of different formats and mediums to assist student learning. Today, one of my online classes has an accounting simulation that puts students through the day in a life of a CFO. And this was a simulation that I developed in the course and built further upon once I finished. I had lots of valuable learning experiences throughout the MET program. Personally, I found the group projects to be the most valuable. You have an opportunity to work in groups with people who are very, very different from you. For example, in one of my courses, I worked with someone who specialized in corporate training, a high school teacher, and even an instructional designer. All of these people brought different skill sets, knowledge, and experiences to the table and helped me see things in a different light. This just made the deliverables that we produced that much better. In one class, my group and I thought through an accessibility checker for PowerPoint presentations. In another class, my group and I coded a choose your own adventure game. And in another class, my partner and I analyzed the student, faculty, and ethical issues surrounding remote proctoring tools. These were all things I would have never imagined doing before the MET program. I was surprised at how much I was able to contribute to the program, even with no background in education. One of my biggest worries was not being up to speed with educational theories and not being able to communicate with classically trained educators. But that couldn't have been further from the truth. I found that even as a classically trained accountant, I was able to contribute my insights and knowledge to different conversations. And in a meaningful way too. Groups relied on me to operationalize plans, to understand how a decision might impact a post-secondary student, and to think of practical, non-traditional ways to solve traditional educational challenges. I would give prospective students a few major pieces of advice. Number one, do it. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You're going to meet some amazing faculty and colleagues that will excite and inspire you to be a better educator. Number two, graduate studies are very different from your undergraduate studies. A lot of people pursue a master's because they want to. And when you want to learn something, you're motivated very differently. You read articles not because you want a perfect grade, but you read articles and websites because you want to learn and you want to grow. You're curious for knowledge. Number three, don't be afraid to bring your knowledge and skill set to the table. People love that I was not a classically trained educator because I brought different ideas and perspectives to the table. Really embrace those differences. And lastly, I would say, don't worry if you don't have a bachelor's in education. You can still succeed in this program and you can still do well. You'll learn all the learning theories and all the pedagogy that you need to.